in the primordial expanse of the great dark beyond, where the echoes of creation resonated through the boundless cosmos, the tale of the Titans began. Eons before the rise of Azeroth's mortal races, before the light and the void wove their eternal dance of opposition, there existed the nascent forms of celestial beings known as world souls. These slumbering entities, scattered across the vastness of the universe, lay dormant within the hearts of nascent worlds, waiting for the spark of consciousness to awaken their immense potential. It is said that the world souls were the progeny of an enigmatic force known as the Pantheon, a gathering of the most ancient and powerful beings in the universe. The Pantheon, in their infinite wisdom and power, sought to bring order to the chaotic tapestry of existence. Their purpose was to nurture and guide the world souls, hoping that, in time, these mighty beings would awaken and join their ranks as titans, the architects of worlds and guardians of creation. The first world soul to awaken was Aman'Thul, the High Father, who became the leader of the Pantheon. With his awakening, the very fabric of the cosmos seemed to tremble with newfound purpose. Aman'Thul's emergence marked the beginning of an era of enlightenment and creation, for his vision extended beyond the mere shaping of worlds. He sought to bring harmony to the universe itself, to forge a cosmic order from the swirling chaos. As Aman'Thul began his quest, he was soon joined by other awakened titans, each bringing their unique gifts and powers to the burgeoning Pantheon. Ionar, the Lifebinder, emerged with the grace of spring, nurturing life and vitality wherever she cast her gaze. Sargeras, the shaper and forger of worlds, arose from the molten heart of creation, wielding the power to sculpt the very land and seas. Together, they formed the core of the Pantheon, united in their divine purpose. Yet the awakening of the Titans was not a simple matter of emergence and unity. Each world soul faced trials and tribulations as they broke free from their planetary cocoons. Their consciousnesses, unbound and newly aware, struggled against the remnants of chaos that clung to their forms, remnants that sought to ensnare them and pull them back into slumber. But through sheer will and the guiding light of the Pantheon, they rose, each becoming a beacon of hope and order. As more Titans awoke, the Pantheon expanded, their influence spreading across the cosmos like a constellation of divine architects. But their journey was far from complete, for amidst their noble quest to bring order to the nascent universe, they discovered a truth that would shape their very essence. Not all beings of cosmic power shared their vision of harmony, for in the shadowed corners of the universe, malevolent forces stirred, ancient, preternatural beings known as the Void Lords. These entities, born from the darkened recesses of the ethereal plane, sought to corrupt the universe by sowing seeds of chaos and despair. Their insidious whispers echoed through the fabric of creation, a haunting melody of discord that threatened to unravel the Titan's grand design. Determined to protect the fledgling worlds from this encroaching darkness, the Pantheon devoted themselves to a monumental task: the ordering of planets, each world a canvas upon which they could paint the cosmos's potential for life and light. Yet such endeavors were fraught with peril. In their quest, the Titans faced not only the whispers of the Void Lords, but also the raw, untamed elements of the worlds themselves. Vast seas raged against molten earth, skies roiled with tempestuous storms, and deep within the planet's hearts, elemental spirits, primal and ancient, resisted the Titans' guiding touch. Still, the Titans persisted, for they were beings of unmatched determination and power. With each world they shaped, they left behind the seeds of life, nurturing them until they flourished into vibrant ecosystems. And, as if to counterbalance the Void Lord's malevolence, the Titans discovered the nascent beings known as world souls, dormant Titan spirits slumbering within the core of certain worlds, waiting to awaken and join the Pantheon in their noble crusade. One by one, the Pantheon nurtured these world souls, hoping to raise them into full-fledged Titans, allies in their eternal struggle against the encroaching darkness. Yet the Void Lords were relentless, and in their desperation, they devised a horrific plan to corrupt a world soul before it could awaken. If successful, such an act would birth a dark titan, a being of unimaginable power and malevolence, an unstoppable force of destruction that could consume the universe itself. Thus, the stage was set for a cosmic conflict of unimaginable scale, a battle not just for the physical realms, but for the very soul of creation. The Titans stood as sentinels against the abyss, their hearts steeled by the knowledge that their duty was not merely to shape worlds, but to safeguard the very essence of existence. And so, the Pantheon continued their celestial journey, their resolve unbroken, their spirits unyielding, as they prepared to face the gathering storm. As the Pantheon gathered strength and expanded its ranks, the cosmos quivered with anticipation. The universe brimmed with potential, awaiting the guiding hands of the Titans to sculpt order from the chaos of the great dark beyond. Each newly awakened Titan brought with them unique powers and insights, adding to the collective might of the Pantheon. Among these celestial beings was Norgannon, the keeper of celestial law, whose vast wisdom and knowledge of the arcane arts would prove indispensable in the quest to bring harmony to the universe. His understanding of the hidden truths of creation allowed the Pantheon to better comprehend the mysteries of existence. Beside Norgannon stood Golganneth, the lord of skies and roaring oceans, a being of immense power who could command the elements themselves. With his mastery over storms and seas, Golganneth brought balance to the elemental forces that raged across the world. His presence was calming yet forceful, reflecting the Pantheon's resolve to tame the tempestuous realms of the cosmos. As these mighty titans took their places within the Pantheon, the collective's influence began to ripple outward. Worlds that had once been unstable and teetering on the brink of destruction were now steadied by the Titans' guiding hands. Under their watchful gaze, the raw, untamed energies of creation were woven into the fabric of ordered existence. New worlds were born, each more wondrous and diverse than the last, as the Titans shaped them with precision and purpose. Yet even as the Pantheon exerted its influence, the Void Lords watched with envious eyes. These shadowy entities, banished to the fringes of reality, understood that the Titans threatened their dark designs. In their insidious cunning, the Void Lords plotted ceaselessly, seeking to sow seeds of corruption within the hearts of world souls. Their whispers echoed across the stars, attempting to poison the very essence of creation with their malevolent influence. The Titans, however, were not blind to these dangers. Their vigilance was unwavering, and they took great care in nurturing the world souls they discovered, shielding them from the corrosive touch of the void. The Pantheon forged alliances with the elemental spirits and other primordial forces, seeking to fortify the worlds under their protection. But even as their efforts bore fruit, an unsettling truth began to dawn upon the Titans. The Void Lord's ambitions were more insidious and pervasive than they had anticipated, threading through the cosmic tapestry with a subtlety that challenged even the most perceptive eyes. The Void Lord's influence seeped like a shadow through the cracks of creation, seeking to ensnare the burgeoning life on each world. As the Pantheon endeavored to shield the world souls from corruption, they realized the Void's tendrils were not merely external threats, but had begun to infiltrate the very fabric of reality itself. This realization urged the Titans to adopt a new strategy. They could no longer merely react to the threats posed by the Void Lords. Instead, they needed to anticipate their machinations. The Pantheon, led by the wisdom of Aman'Thul, sought to understand the nature of the void, to unravel its mysteries and devise defenses that could withstand its ever-reaching grasp. This task, however, was fraught with danger, for delving too deeply into the shadowy nature of their enemies posed the risk of inviting that very darkness into their own hearts. In response to this threat, the Titans began to imbue the worlds they shaped with protective wards, infusing them with energies that resonated with the light. These energies were a counterbalance to the void, a beacon of hope against the encroaching shadows. Eonar, with her boundless affinity for life, played a crucial role in this endeavor, breathing vitality into the barren lands and igniting the spark of creation across the cosmos. Sargeras, the master forger, engraved the worlds with runes of power, crafting them into bastions of stability and order. Yet, despite their efforts, the Pantheon understood that they needed more than just defensive measures. They required allies, beings of power and wisdom who could act in their stead across the vast reaches of the great dark beyond. Thus, the Titans began the search for champions who could stand against the Void's influence, custodians who could guard the worlds and nurture the life that flourished upon them. This quest for allies led the Pantheon to the discovery of the nascent races, beings whose potential was yet untapped. Among these races were the dragons, destined to become the guardians of Azeroth, and the keepers, constructs imbued with a fragment of Titan essence. These creations would serve as the bulwark against the Void's ceaseless advance, each one a sentinel standing vigil as the celestial battles raged on. As the Pantheon expanded their reach, they also faced the grim reality that not all worlds could be saved. Some had already succumbed to the relentless whispers of the Void, their world souls lost to the shadows. These somber losses weighed heavily upon the Titans, a reminder of the stakes in their eternal struggle. Yet with each world they preserved, they drew closer to their ultimate goal. A universe where order reigned and the malignant touch of the Void was held at bay. In this cosmic dance of creation and corruption, the Titans remained resolute, their gaze fixed upon the horizon, ever vigilant for the next challenge that lay ahead. As they pressed forward, the Pantheon would soon find themselves confronting a threat unlike any they had faced before, one that would test the very foundations of their unity and resolve. As the cosmos sprawled endlessly, a gathering of great power and mind began to coalesce within the Pantheon, a council unlike any other in the universe. These Titans, each a paragon of their domain, were driven by a singular vision: to forge order amidst the swirling entropy of existence. Their unity was not merely one of purpose, but of understanding, a convergence of magnificent intellects and unparalleled might. It was during this era that the Pantheon's influence began to stretch across the stars, an era marked by profound creation and discovery. Under the steadfast leadership of Aman'Thul, the Titans turned their gaze toward the myriad worlds that spun in the Void, worlds teeming with potential but fraught with discord. Each member of the Pantheon brought their unique strength to bear, crafting a harmonious existence from the tumult. Norgannon, the keeper of knowledge, wove the threads of wisdom through the very fabric of reality, ensuring that the order would not only be physical but also intellectual. Golganeth, the Lord of Skies, commanded the elements with a mastery that kept the chaotic forces in check, a delicate balance maintained by his will. Yet the Titans were not merely builders of worlds. They were also guardians, eternal sentinels against the dark whispers of the Void. As the Void Lords schemed from their shadowed realms, seeking to twist the world souls to their sinister designs, the Pantheon understood the necessity of vigilance. The Titans' wariness was matched by their resolve as they established bastions of light and fortified defenses against encroaching darkness. In this time of burgeoning strength, the Pantheon sought allies among the denizens of the cosmos, beings of power and wisdom who could aid in their grand design. It was during these quests that the Titans discovered the dragons, majestic creatures that embodied the balance of the natural world. Recognizing their potential, the Pantheon bestowed upon them great wisdom and power, appointing them as wardens of the realms the Titans had shaped. Moreover, the Pantheon's influence extended to the creation of the Keepers, mighty constructs imbued with the essence of the Titans themselves. These Keepers were tasked with overseeing the intricacies of life on the worlds under the Pantheon's care, a testament to the Titans' commitment to nurturing the growth of order. Yet amidst these triumphs, shadows lingered. For the Pantheon's struggle against the Void Lords was far from over. This cosmic conflict required vigilance, as the void's influence seeped into the fabric of reality like a relentless tide. The Titans, ever vigilant, continued to seek allies among the cosmos, their eyes set on bolstering their defenses against the encroaching darkness. In their journey, the Pantheon chanced upon worlds where life thrived in unique and unexpected forms. Among these discoveries were the primitive yet resilient dragonflights, creatures imbued with elemental power and wisdom beyond their years. Recognizing their potential, the Pantheon granted them the charge of safeguarding the burgeoning worlds, entrusting them with the task of acting as protectors against the void's insidious reach. The dragons, awed by the immense power and wisdom of the Titans, accepted this sacred duty, thus becoming pivotal allies in the cosmic struggle. The Pantheon's influence expanded even further through the creation of the aspects, dragons elevated by the Titans to serve as their vanguards against the void. These mighty beings, one for each primal element, were bestowed with a portion of the Titans' own power, their destinies intertwined with the protection of Azeroth, a world of unparalleled potential that had captured the Pantheon's interest. Yet with each step forward, the threat of the Void Lords grew ever more insidious. Their whispers of corruption began to reach the ears of the Keepers and Dragons alike, sowing seeds of doubt and ambition. The Pantheon's creation, though mighty, was not immune to the allure of power and the promises of the Void. The Titans, aware of this danger, endeavored to reinforce the bonds of loyalty and trust, even as they felt the weight of the cosmic balance teeter on a knife's edge. Through their continued efforts, the Pantheon orchestrated the establishment of powerful wards that interwove the light's protective energies with the raw might of the elemental forces. These wards served as bulwarks against the void, binding the realms in a tapestry of order and light, an intricate countermeasure against the darkness threatening to unravel all that had been accomplished. Despite these measures, the looming spectre of an unprecedented threat cast its shadow over the Pantheon's endeavors. The Void Lords, relentless in their pursuit, devised new schemes to subvert and corrupt the very fabric of creation. The Titans, ever steadfast, braced themselves for the storm to come, knowing that the future of countless worlds hung in the balance, teetering between order and oblivion. Thus, as the chapters of this cosmic saga unfolded, the rise of the Pantheon stood as a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Titans. Their journey, fraught with peril and promise, marked the dawning of an era where the forces of creation and destruction clashed in a timeless battle for supremacy. The stage was set for a conflict that would echo throughout the ages, as the Pantheon prepared to face challenges beyond imagination, with the fate of existence itself at stake. Amidst the shifting veils of cosmic power, the Titans, resolute in their quest, turn their gaze upon the unformed worlds scattered across the great dark beyond. These worlds, born of chaotic energies and untamed elements, lay dormant, awaiting the touch of order and purpose. The Pantheon, with its divine mandate, embarked on a monumental endeavor to shape these worlds, to weave harmony from the threads of chaos. Sargeras, the great shaper, wielded his mighty hammer, infusing landscapes with structure and form. Mountains ascended from the earth, and valleys stretched wide, as the very crust of nascent worlds responded to his touch. Yet, it was not a task of mere creation, it was an act of delicate balance. For each world was a unique tapestry of potential, and the Titans knew that only by guiding the raw energies within could they foster the growth of the world souls slumbering at their cores. Golganeth, the lord of skies and seas, summoned the elements to dance upon these worlds, establishing primal forces that would sustain life. Storms roared, oceans ebbed and flowed, and winds carried the seeds of life across vast expanses. Through his mastery, the elements became the lifeblood of these worlds, each a symphony of creation and destruction, playing out the eternal cycle of beginnings and ends. Eonar, the life-binder, followed with her nurturing touch. She sowed the seeds of life upon these freshly sculpted canvases, her essence imbuing the land with verdant growth. Forests took root, teeming with creatures both great and small, each one a testament to the potential held within the Titan's grand design. These worlds, once barren and chaotic, now thrummed with life, each a burgeoning cradle for the world's souls to awaken and flourish. But the Titans knew that their work was far from complete, for as they shaped these realms, the ever-watchful eyes of the Void Lords remained fixed upon them, whispering malevolent intents into the shadows. These dark forces sought to unravel the Titans' efforts, to twist the order they sought to establish into a new form of chaos. The Pantheon understood that the creation of order was not merely an act of construction, but one of perpetual vigilance. Thus, the Titans sought to fortify their creations against the insidious corruption of the void. They crafted wards of unimaginable power, blending the radiant energies of the light with the elemental forces under Golganath's command. These wards served as both shield and beacon, protecting the nascent worlds and their sleeping world souls from the insidious reach of the Void Lords. Yet, in their quest to shield the cosmos, the Titans realized that their own strength was not enough. They needed allies, beings who could stand as guardians of these worlds, beings who understood the delicate balance between order and chaos. It was this realization that led them to gaze upon the very essence of the dragons, creatures of immense potential and wisdom. In the heart of their contemplation, the Titans saw the dragons not merely as beasts of scale and breadth, but as potential stewards of the worlds they were destined to shape. These majestic creatures, brimming with untapped power, could be molded into vigilant overseers. The Pantheon, with wisdom and foresight, began to cultivate this potential, transforming dragons into the aspects, mighty beings imbued with the essence of the Titans themselves. The transformation of these dragons into aspects was a masterstroke of divine ingenuity. Each aspect was bestowed with a fraction of the Titan's own powers, each serving a unique role in the grand tapestry of cosmic order. Alex Strasser, the Lifebinder, was gifted the power to nurture life. She would become a guardian of all living things, her breath infusing the lands with vitality and renewal. Malygos, the Spellweaver, was entrusted with the arcane, his mind a repository of magical knowledge that would safeguard the world's mystical fabric. Neltharion, the Earth Warder, was charged with the protection of the land itself, his dominion over stone and soil ensuring stability. Nozdormu, the Timeless One, received dominion over time, his perception stretching across the ages to maintain the continuity of reality. Lastly, Ysera, the Dreamer, was given guardianship over the Emerald Dream, a realm of spiritual nature that mirrored the physical world, a place she would protect to ensure the balance of nature. These aspects, each a paragon of their respective domains, were not merely guardians, they were anchors of stability in a universe ever threatened by the encroaching chaos of the void. Under their watchful gaze, the worlds took form, their ecosystems flourishing in harmony. The Titans had forged a powerful alliance, a coalition of wisdom and strength that would enforce order in a cosmos fraught with uncertainty. However, the Pantheon understood the fragility of their creation. The Void Lords, ever scheming, would not be deterred by this new line of defense. The aspects were formidable, yet they were but one part of a larger strategy. The Titans knew that the battle for the cosmos was not limited to grand displays of power. It was a war of attrition, a struggle fought in the shadows as much as in the light. Thus, the Titans continued their quest, seeking out other allies and tools to bolster their cause. They crafted the Keepers, mechanical guardians designed to watch over the worlds in the Titans' stead, their unyielding vigilance a testament to the Pantheon's enduring resolve. These Keepers, with their boundless devotion, would serve alongside the aspects, ensuring that no corner of the universe was left unguarded. In the grand scheme of things, the Titans' efforts were a testament to their unwavering commitment to order. Yet they knew that their work was never truly complete. The forces of chaos were relentless, their reach never-ending. As the Titans looked upon the worlds they had shaped, They understood that each victory was but a step in an eternal journey, a journey that would require every ounce of their wisdom, strength, and unity. The stage was set, the pieces in place, yet the Pantheon knew that the true test of their endeavors was still to come. As the universe teetered on the edge of chaos and order, the Titans held fast to their vision, ever vigilant, ever hopeful, and ever prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. In the eternal chronicle of the Titans, a chapter unfolds like no other, marked by a betrayal that would rend the cosmos and alter the fate of countless worlds. It is the tale of Sargeras, the noble Titan who once stood as the stalwart defender of creation, the very embodiment of strength and justice within the Pantheon. His transformation from a guardian of the light into the harbinger of destruction is a saga of cosmic tragedy and insidious corruption. Sargeras, who had long served as the warden of the universe's prisons, was tasked with a grave responsibility to confront and subdue the myriad demons that threatened the serenity of ordered worlds. For eons, he wielded his mighty blade with unparalleled valor, slicing through the forces of darkness with unyielding resolve. Yet the endless conflict and the malevolent whispers of the Void Lords began to seep into his soul, sowing seeds of doubt and despair. Sargeras pondered the nature of existence, questioning the worth of the Titan's eternal struggle against chaos. As he journeyed through the tumultuous cosmos, Sargeras encountered a sight that shattered his perception of reality. A world utterly consumed by the void. This horrendous vision of corruption, an entire planet twisted into a vessel for the Void Lord's insidious will, ignited a terrifying revelation within him. He foresaw a universe where every world soul would succumb to such malevolence, becoming engines of annihilation. In this moment of existential dread, Sargeras envisioned a singular, drastic solution: the complete annihilation of all life to prevent such a fate. This radical epiphany marked the inception of Sargeras's tragic fall. He approached the Pantheon with his grave concerns, but his brothers and sisters, bound by their unwavering faith in the potential for order, could not endorse his drastic vision. The discord between Sargeras and the Pantheon deepened, and the once unified Titans found themselves divided by a chasm of ideology. Sargeras, isolated and embittered, withdrew into solitude, his thoughts consumed by the belief that only an unrelenting purge could cleanse the universe of its dark potential. It was in his isolation that the embers of madness were fanned into a blazing inferno. Sargeras, forsaking his allegiance to the Pantheon, forged a new path, one that would lead him to the heart of the Burning Legion, an army of demons he had once imprisoned. With a heart steeled by conviction, he shattered their bonds, offering them a new purpose: to scour the cosmos of all life and bring about a purifying fire that would cleanse creation of its vulnerability to corruption. This decision marked the genesis of a new era, a cataclysmic shift that would forever alter the cosmic balance. Sargeras, once a paragon of the Titan's ideals, now embraced the annihilation of what he deemed flawed. Driven by his belief that destruction was the only means to thwart the Void Lord's insidious designs, he became the architect of the universe's potential undoing. In the wake of his betrayal, Sargeras unleashed a force that would become synonymous with dread and despair across countless worlds. The Burning Legion, a relentless tide of chaos and ruin, surged forth under his command. Demons, freed from their prisons, rallied behind their new master, their lust for devastation matched only by Sargeras's own fervor. Together, they set their sights on the cosmos, intent on reducing it to ash and flame. Yet, Sargeras's rebellion was not simply an act of madness, it was a calculated strategy, a dark echo of his former duty as a protector. He envisioned a universe where the void could no longer corrupt, not by safeguarding it, but by ensuring nothing remained for the void to taint. This grim logic fueled his relentless campaign as he sought to obliterate every seed of life, every flicker of potential that might one day fall prey to the whispers of the Void Lords. The Pantheon, Sargeras's once steadfast allies, were aghast at his transformation. Their brother, who had once stood beside them against the encroaching darkness, now embodied it. They were forced to confront a devastating truth. Sargeras, their mightiest, had become their direst foe. The betrayal of Sargeras was not merely a fracture within their ranks, it was a cosmic schism that threatened to unravel all they had worked to preserve. In the corridors of destiny, the Pantheon convened, grappling with the implications of Sargeras's defection. Their resolve, though shaken, remained unyielding. They would not allow the burning legion's inferno to consume all creation, yet they knew that to oppose Sargeras would demand an unprecedented unity and strength, a resolve to stand against one of their own, now twisted beyond recognition. Thus, the stage was set for a struggle that would echo throughout the ages, a conflict not just for the survival of worlds, but for the very soul of the cosmos. The Pantheon's determination to protect life would be pitted against Sargeras's unrelenting crusade of annihilation. As the cosmos trembled under the weight of this terrible war, the ancient battle lines were drawn, and the fate of all creation hung in the balance. In the vast tapestry of cosmic history, the Titans have long stood as bastions of order and creation. Yet, within their ranks, a fracture had formed, one that would unleash a cataclysm of unprecedented scale. Sargeras, once a revered champion of the Pantheon, had succumbed to a vision of despair, a revelation so profound that it shattered the very core of his being. Witnessing the potential corruption of world souls by the malevolent void, Sargeras foresaw a universe twisted into a mockery of its intended splendor. In his eyes, annihilation seemed the only solution to a fate far worse than death. As his resolve hardened into a singular, dark purpose, Sargeras turned away from his brethren. The Pantheon, aghast at his radical proposition, found themselves at an impasse. Sargeras, isolated and embittered, began to weave a new destiny, one that would bring about the creation of the Burning Legion. This infernal army, composed of demons and entities of unspeakable horror, was forged with a singular goal: to scour the cosmos clean of life, thereby denying the Void Lords their prize. The once guarded prisons of the universe, where the Titans had sealed away the most abhorrent of creatures, became recruitment grounds for Sargeras's fledgling legion. He shattered these barriers with his immense power, releasing a torrent of chaos upon the stars. Demons, once contained and dormant, were unleashed with a fury unmatched. They swarmed like a plague, driven by Sargeras's unyielding will to cleanse existence of its imperfections. The cosmos, until now a battleground between order and chaos, found itself under siege by a new and terrible force. Worlds that had once thrived under the careful guidance of the Titans now faced annihilation at the hands of an entity they had once revered. The Pantheon, reeling from the betrayal of one of their own, was forced to confront a grim reality. The very universe they sought to protect was slipping into an era of darkness and destruction. In the face of this rising threat, the Titans realized the need for a unity beyond anything they had ever conceived. The schism with Sargeras had left them vulnerable, their strength diminished by the absence of their once great champion. Yet, as the cosmos trembled under the onslaught of the Burning Legion, the Pantheon knew that mere resolve would not suffice. They required an alliance of unprecedented scale, a coalition of forces that could stand against the tide of chaos that threatened to engulf all creation. In their search for allies, the Titans turned to the myriad beings of the universe, those who shared their vision of order and balance. They sought out the dragons, the keepers, and other entities who had long stood as guardians of cosmic harmony. Each ally brought with them unique strengths and perspectives, creating a diverse yet unified front against the encroaching darkness. The battle lines were drawn, ancient and new alike, as the Pantheon prepared to face the Legion. As the Pantheon assembled their forces, the true horror of Sargeras's betrayal began to unfold. The Burning Legion, a relentless tide of chaos, surged forth from the shadows of the twisting nether. Sargeras, once a noble protector, now stood at the helm of this demonic onslaught, wielding the power of destruction with a fervor that shook the very foundations of the cosmos. The Legion's ranks swelled with demonic entities, each more fearsome and twisted than the last, drawn to Sargeras' irresistible call. The Titans, with their allies by their side, faced a foe unlike any they had ever encountered. The Legion was not merely a physical threat, it was an embodiment of pure chaos, a force that sought not just to conquer, but to obliterate all that the Titans had painstakingly wrought. Every clash, every battle was a test of endurance and will, as the forces of order struggled to withstand the unending assault of fire and shadow. In the midst of this cosmic conflict, the Titans realized that their adversary was not only formidable in strength, but also insidious in cunning. Sargeras, with his intimate knowledge of the Pantheon, exploited every weakness, every vulnerability. He struck where they were least prepared, unraveling the delicate tapestry of order that the Titans had woven across countless worlds. The Legion's advance was relentless, its devastation absolute. Yet even as the Pantheon fought to hold the line, a glimmer of hope emerged from the chaos. The bonds between the Titans and their allies deepened, forged in the crucible of battle. The dragons, with their elemental might, soared into the fray, their scales gleaming like radiant shields against the darkness. The Keepers, steadfast and resolute, wielded the powers granted to them by the Titans to fortify the defenses of beleaguered realms. But the Legion's fury was not easily quelled. Worlds fell, their inhabitants consumed by the insatiable hunger of the demonic horde. The Titans, though mighty, were stretched thin, forced to make impossible choices as they sought to protect the sanctity of creation. Each victory was hard won, each loss a grievous wound upon the soul of the cosmos. The Pantheon's struggle was not merely a battle of might, but a war of ideologies. Sargeras, in his twisted vision, believed that only through destruction could the universe be saved from the encroaching void. The Titans, however, held firm to their belief in the sanctity of life and the power of creation. This clash of convictions fueled the fires of conflict, driving both sides to fight with a determination that bordered on desperation. As the conflict raged on, the Pantheon realized that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. The burning Legion's onslaught threatened to unravel the very fabric of reality, to extinguish the light of hope that flickered in the hearts of all who stood against them. Yet amid the chaos and destruction, the Titans glimpsed the possibility of redemption. They understood that to defeat Sargeras and his Legion, they would need more than strength of arms. They would need unity, resolve, and an unwavering belief in the potential for a brighter future. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo through the ages, a battle that would determine the destiny of all creation. With their allies at their side, and their hearts steeled for the trials to come, the Titans prepared to face the burning Legion in a struggle that would test the very limits of their power and resolve. The outcome was uncertain, but the resolve of the Pantheon was unyielding, their determination to protect the cosmos from the scourge of the Legion unwavering. In the ancient chronicles of Azeroth, the Titans, in their infinite wisdom, foresaw the necessity of steadfast guardians to oversee the burgeoning life on this nascent world. Thus the Titan Forged were conceived, mighty sentinels born of stone and metal, animated by the celestial powers of the Pantheon. These beings were not mere creations. They were embodiments of the Titan's vision for order and stability in a universe teetering on the brink of chaos. Sargeras, the Shaper, wielded his hammer with precision, crafting the Titan Forged with unyielding strength and resilience. Each was imbued with purpose, designed to shepherd the burgeoning life of Azeroth and to act as the Pantheon's hands in shaping the world. Among these formidable entities, the Keepers stood out, infused with the very essence of the Titans themselves. They were entrusted as the stewards of Azeroth, each Keeper embodying distinct aspects of the Titan's domains. Odin, the Prime Designate, was chosen to lead this hallowed cadre. He stood as the living embodiment of the Titan's martial might and wisdom, a towering figure of authority and strength. Beside him stood Raden, the Keeper of Storms, whose dominion over the skies was unmatched. Their task was monumental, to safeguard Azeroth from internal strife and external threats, ensuring the world's stability amidst the cosmic turmoil. Yet the Titan Forged were not alone in this grand design. They were complemented by the elemental forces sculpted by Golganath, woven into the very fabric of the world by Norgannon's arcane mastery. The elemental lords, once chaotic and unbridled, were bound into service as the lesser spirits of the world, their tumultuous energies harnessed to maintain the balance between creation and destruction. The Keepers, in their wisdom, realized that vigilance would be unending, for the Void Lord's whispers sought to corrupt even the purest of hearts. Thus, they created the dragon aspects, mighty dragons imbued with the power of the Titans, to serve as Azeroth's eternal guardians. These dragons, gifted with sentience and purpose, would soar through the skies, watchful and ever ready to intervene against the forces of darkness. Yet, as the Pantheon's gaze turned towards greater threats beyond Azeroth, a seed of discord took root within the ranks of the Titan Forged themselves. Odin, in his zeal, sought to create a new order, a force of warriors that would surpass even the Keepers in might and loyalty. In his ambition to forge a superior legion of defenders, Odin looked beyond the constructs of stone and metal. He turned his gaze skyward, seeking the raw essence of the storm, the untamed fury of the elements, and the indomitable spirit of the Valkyr. This was his vision, a new cadre of champions infused with the very soul of the Tempest. Thus, the Valajar were conceived, a formidable assembly of warriors destined to embody the unwavering might and resolute courage that Odin prized above all else. Yet Odin's ambition was not without its consequences. The creation of the Valajar demanded a sacrifice that would stir dissent and discord among the Titan Forged. Helya, once a trusted ally, found herself ensnared in Odin's designs. She had been the architect of the Halls of Valor, a realm of splendor and glory meant to house this new order. But Odin's unyielding will and the transformation of her spirit into a Valkyr bound her to his service, a servitude she neither sought nor embraced. Helya's heart, once filled with loyalty, now harbored betrayal. She could not reconcile the vision of the Titans with Odin's relentless pursuit of power. In her bitterness, she sought to undo what had been wrought. A rebellion was born within her, a rebellion that would see Odin's grand designs cast into shadow. Drawing upon the ancient magics of the Keepers, she severed the Halls of Valor from the world below, spiriting it away into the ethereal reaches of the Shadowlands. In her defiance, she sought to reclaim the autonomy she had lost, and in doing so, she would forge an alliance with forces that lay beyond the mortal coil. As these events unfolded, the Pantheon remained distant, their attention riveted upon the cosmic battles that threatened the very fabric of existence. The schism within the Titan Forged was but a whisper amid the clamor of greater wars. Yet this discord, born of ambition and betrayal, would ripple through the ages. Its echoes felt long after its players had faded into legend. Thus, with the seeds of division sown amongst Azeroth's stalwart guardians, the stage was set for trials that would test their resolve and redefine their purpose. In this crucible of conflict, the destiny of the Titan Forged would be forged anew, as the shadows of the past stretched long into the future, overshadowing the land they were sworn to protect. The guardians of Azeroth, though crafted by celestial hands, would discover that their greatest battles lay not only against external foes, but also within the very ranks of their own. In the annals of Azeroth's history, few events stand as cataclysmic as the Sundering, an epical fracture that reshaped the very bones of the world. Before this colossal event, the once unified supercontinent of Kalimdor stretched across the globe, a testament to the Titan's grand designs. Under the vigilant gaze of the Titan Forged and the enigmatic dragon aspects, the land flourished, teeming with life and magic. Yet beneath this veneer of harmony, an insidious threat festered, born from the depths of the Well of Eternity. The Well, a font of arcane energy, pulsed at the heart of Kalimdor. its radiant waters influencing all that lay within its reach. It was here that Queen Azshara, the Highborn's regal and powerful leader, succumbed to the whispers of the Burning Legion. Azshara, a being of unparalleled beauty and ambition, envisaged a reign not confined to Azeroth, but extending across the cosmos. Her hubris became the catalyst for doom as she opened a gateway through the well, inviting the Legion's demonic hordes into the realm. As the Legion poured forth, led by the Dreadlord Archimonde, the horrors they unleashed were beyond comprehension. The tranquil lands of Kalimdor were engulfed in chaos, as the demons laid waste to all in their path. It was a maelstrom of fire and shadow, a grim herald of the apocalypse. Yet amid this destruction, hope flickered in the form of an unlikely alliance. The Night Elves, under the leadership of the young druid Malfurion's Stormrage, alongside the dragon aspects and other defenders, rallied to face this existential threat. In the midst of this titanic struggle, an even greater calamity loomed. The potent energies of the well, once a source of life and stability, now became a ticking time bomb, destabilized by the reckless channeling of the Legion's power. The Titan's carefully woven tapestry of order was unraveling, the world teetering on the brink of annihilation. As the defenders battled with valor, Malfurion and his allies devised a desperate plan to sever the Legion's connection to Azeroth, a gambit fraught with peril and uncertainty. The very air crackled with tension as the final confrontation approached. It was a moment of choice, a fulcrum upon which the fate of Azeroth balanced precariously. The heroes knew that success would come at a terrible cost, for to close the gateway and end the Legion's assault, the Well of Eternity itself would have to be destroyed. This realization weighed heavily upon all who fought, an acknowledgement that the world they knew would be irrevocably altered, if not destroyed entirely. Yet there was no turning back. The fate of Azeroth teetered on the brink, as the cataclysmic decision to destroy the Well of Eternity loomed large. Even amidst the chaos of battle, the courageous defenders of the realm steeled themselves for the drastic measures required to thwart the Burning Legion. The Well, a font of unimaginable arcane power, was the keystone of their world, yet its very presence had become a beacon for the demonic invaders. Thus, it was decided, a sacrifice beyond measure, a sundering of the world that would echo through time. In the heart of this conflict stood the Night Elves, who had long drawn strength from the Well's potent energies. Their leaders, including the formidable Malfurion Stormrage and his allies, faced the monumental challenge of executing this desperate plan. Malfurion, guided by the teachings of the demigod Sargeras, harnessed the primal forces of nature to enact the plan that would seal the fate of the well. As arcane energies crackled and surged, the ground beneath quaked with anticipation of the impending devastation. The skies above darkened, a portent of the titanic forces at play as the battle raged on. Archimonde, the towering demon lord of the Legion, sensed the impending loss and unleashed his full fury upon the defenders, but the resolve of Azeroth's champions held firm. With every incantation, every swing of a sword, they fought not only for survival, but for the future of their world. As Malfurion's spell reached its crescendo, the very fabric of reality trembled. The Well of Eternity, unable to contain the tumultuous energies within, erupted in a cataclysm of unparalleled magnitude. The explosion tore the great landmass of Kalimdor asunder, birthing the Maelstrom, a churning vortex of energy that would forever mark the scar of this monumental event. In that instant, the world was irrevocably transformed. The Sundering, as it would come to be known, reshaped the continents and redefined the very geography of Azeroth. Mighty cities vanished beneath the waves, entire civilizations shattered, and countless lives were lost to the unfathomable forces unleashed. The world that emerged was one of fragmented lands, a testament to both the sacrifice of those who fought and the enduring resilience of life itself. Yet amidst the despair, there was a glimmer of hope. The Night Elves, though deeply mourning their losses, found solace in the nascent world tree, Nordrassil, a symbol of renewal and rebirth. It was a new beginning, born from the ashes of destruction, a chance for Azeroth to rise anew, albeit forever changed by the cataclysm that had sundered it. And so, as the dust settled and the survivors began to rebuild, the legacy of the Sundering stood as a reminder of the indomitable spirit of Azeroth's defenders. Though the world was now fractured, the resolve of its inhabitants remained unbroken, and the story of their struggle would echo across the ages, a testament to the enduring battle between order and chaos. In the vast tapestry of cosmic events, the Titans, those celestial architects of order, faced their darkest hour. The betrayal of Sargeras had cast a pall over the Pantheon, fracturing their unity and thrusting them into a maelstrom of chaos. Yet even in this dire moment, the indomitable spirit of the Titans shone through, as they resolved to safeguard the universe from the relentless onslaught of the Burning Legion and the insidious whispers of the Void Lords. As the echoes of Sargeras' defection reverberated through the cosmos, the Pantheon, though diminished, marshaled their remaining strength. Aman'Thul, the wise and venerable leader, foresaw the gravity of the impending conflict. He and his fellow Titans recognized that the very fabric of reality hung in the balance, and the sanctuary they had so diligently woven among the stars was now threatened by the very forces they had sought to contain. The Pantheon knew that they must act decisively, for the future of all creation hinged upon their shoulders. In this epoch of uncertainty, the Titans embarked upon a fateful journey, seeking to bolster their defenses and fortify the realms against the impending doom. They turned their gaze towards the worlds they had nurtured, summoning the Keepers and Dragon aspects, urging them to stand resolute against the encroaching darkness. The Titans infused these mighty guardians with a renewed purpose, entrusting them with the sacred duty of safeguarding the fragile balance of existence. Yet the Titans knew that their own power alone would not suffice. They delved deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos, seeking allies among the light and the elements. The bonds between the Titans and their allies were reforged, each lending their unique strengths to the cause. The light, with its radiant purity, offered a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching shadows, while the elemental forces provided an unyielding foundation upon which to build. As the Pantheon prepared for the ultimate confrontation, they realized that this was not merely a battle for survival, but a struggle for the very essence of creation itself. The Titans, those ancient guardians of order, understood that their legacy would be defined by the choices they made in this crucible of cosmic conflict. In this time of dire need, they sought to imbue the universe with the seeds of enduring hope and resilience, ensuring that even if they fell, their vision of harmony would endure through the ages. The Titans' sacrifice was not merely an act of desperation, but a testament to their unwavering commitment to preserving the delicate balance of the cosmos. They knew that their decisions would echo through eternity, shaping the destinies of countless worlds and races yet to arise. As the forces of chaos gathered, the Titans steeled themselves for the ultimate sacrifice, prepared to give their all to safeguard the universe from annihilation. Their legacy, they hoped, would be one of courage and unity, a testament to the indomitable spirit that had guided them since the dawn of creation. And so, with the weight of the cosmos upon their shoulders, the Titans embarked on their final journey, a path fraught with peril and uncertainty. They knew that the price of failure was unfathomable, a reality where the fabric of existence would unravel, swallowed by the dark maw of chaos. With their resolve hardened, they stood as bastions of hope against encroaching darkness, their essence intertwined with the very fate of the cosmos. In their final act of defiance, the Titans confronted the overwhelming forces that threatened to engulf all they had nurtured. The very core of their being was set ablaze with purpose, a luminescent beacon against the encroaching shadow. They harnessed the primordial energies of creation, channeling their collective might into a force that would ripple across time and space. This ultimate act of sacrifice was wrought with the knowledge that their essence might be forever dispersed, their consciousness scattered among the stars. As the Titans stood resolute, a profound silence enveloped the cosmos. Time seemed to hold its breath as they unleashed their final gambit, an act that would etch their legacy into the annals of history. The universe itself trembled under the weight of their power, each ripple a testament to their unwavering determination. Their sacrifice forged a protective bastion, a shield of cosmic proportion that would stand resolute against the insidious whispers of the void. The Pantheon, once a council of unity and order, now faced the possibility of eternal dissolution. Yet in this moment of impending loss, they found solace in the bonds they had forged, the alliances nurtured, and the worlds they had shaped. Their legacy, they hoped, would endure beyond their physical form, an eternal testament to the indomitable spirit of creation. In the wake of their sacrifice, the cosmos began to heal, the scars of conflict slowly mending under the watchful gaze of the Titan's legacy. The energies they had wielded infused the universe with new life, sowing the seeds of balance and harmony. The echoes of their deeds resonated through the great dark, a symphony of hope and perseverance that would inspire future generations to rise against adversity. Though their presence was no longer felt as it once was, the Titan's influence remained, a guiding force for those who would follow in their footsteps. Their sacrifice was not in vain. It became a cornerstone upon which new champions would stand, guardians of the order that the Titans had strived so valiantly to uphold. The Pantheon's legacy was now entrusted to the myriad races and beings that called the universe home, a testament to the power of unity and sacrifice. As the dust of their final battle settled, the cosmos stood as a testament to their enduring legacy. The universe, once teetering on the brink of oblivion, was granted a reprieve, an opportunity to flourish anew. The Titan's sacrifice would be remembered as the ultimate act of courage and selflessness, a legend that would echo through eternity, inspiring those who dared to dream of a brighter tomorrow. In the vast tapestry of Azeroth's history, the echoes of the Pantheon resonate profoundly, weaving through the very fabric of the world. Though the Titans themselves no longer walk the cosmos, their legacy is etched into the heart of the planet, influencing the course of events in ways both subtle and grand. The Pantheon, once the architects of order and protectors of the cosmos, left behind more than just stories. They bequeathed their power and vision to the very beings they had nurtured and guided. In the aftermath of the Titans' great sacrifices, the dragon aspects, infused with the Titans' gifts, assumed their roles as guardians of Azeroth. Each aspect, bearing the weight of divine purpose, continued the mission to safeguard the world. Yet even these mighty dragons found themselves struggling against insidious threats, both ancient and newly arisen. The whispers of the void, ever persistent, sought to undermine the order established by the Titans, infiltrating the minds of those who held the keys to Azeroth's destiny. Amidst this turbulent era, a new generation of champions emerged. Mortals, once considered fleeting and insignificant in the grand design of the universe, rose to prominence, proving themselves worthy inheritors of the Titans' legacy. These heroes, forged in the fires of conflict and bound by a common purpose, stood as bastions of hope against the encroaching darkness. The Titans' influence was felt through the very bloodlines of these champions, as if the stars themselves had ordained their rise. Yet the echoes of the Pantheon reverberated not only through individuals, but through the very land of Azeroth itself. The elemental forces, once tamed by the Titans, now swirled with renewed vigor, driven by the ancient struggles that had shaped their existence. The land bore scars of past conflicts, and as much as it was a realm of beauty and life, it was also a testament to the eternal battle between order and chaos. In this age of uncertain peace, the lessons of the Titans endured. The Keepers, the Titans' most trusted stewards of old, had returned to the forefront, guiding the new generation with wisdom tempered by eons of experience. They served as both mentors and reminders of the responsibilities that came with power. The Pantheon's vision of unity and harmony remained a guiding star, steering the denizens of Azeroth away from paths of destruction and toward a future where the Titan's dream might one day be realized. Yet amidst this delicate balance, a new threat began to stir. One that would challenge the very foundations upon which the Titans had built their legacy. Whispers of an ancient evil, thought vanquished, began to echo through the cosmos. This malevolence, long dormant, seemed to draw strength from the very fabric of reality. It thrived in the shadows of doubt and fear, an insidious force intent on unraveling the order painstakingly woven by the Pantheon. The mortals of Azeroth, ever resilient and determined, found themselves at a crossroads. The echoes of the Titan's teachings offered guidance, yet the path forward was shrouded in uncertainty. Heroes from every corner of the world rose to confront this looming darkness, their hearts steeled by the knowledge that they stood as the inheritors of a legacy that spanned ages. In this era of turmoil, the Keepers, those ancient guardians endowed with the will of the Titans, once again became pivotal figures. They rallied the defenders of Azeroth, imparting ancient wisdom and revealing secrets long buried beneath the sands of time. These revelations, though enlightening, also brought to light the fragility of the current balance. The Keepers, aware of the dire consequences should they falter, worked tirelessly to fortify the world's defenses. New alliances were forged as the inhabitants of Azeroth rallied to a common cause. The factions of the Horde and the Alliance, often at odds, found themselves united by necessity. Together, they sought to harness the might of both arcane and natural forces, wielding them as a bulwark against the encroaching darkness. The echoes of past struggles served as a stark reminder of the cost of failure. In the face of this nascent threat, the dragons, too, took flight once more. The aspects, bound by the oath they swore to the Titans, emerged as beacons of hope. Their ancient power, tempered by time and experience, was a crucial asset in the battle to come. As the skies roared with their presence, the people of Azeroth drew courage from their formidable allies. As the battle lines were drawn, the spirit of the Pantheon lingered, a testament to an age of enlightenment and creation. Yet it was clear that the struggle for Azeroth's future demanded more than echoes of the past. It required a synthesis of old wisdom and new resolve, a blending of the Titan's vision with the indomitable spirit of the mortal races. In this crucible of conflict, a new legacy was forged. Thus, the story of the Titans and their eternal influence came full circle, a narrative of creation, destruction, and rebirth. As Azeroth stood on the precipice of an uncertain future, the essence of the Pantheon endured, a beacon of order amidst chaos, a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope and unity could shape the destiny of the cosmos.